Why spend 20 bucks a pound when you can do it for 12? Fifth generation meat cutter. It's been in the family way before I was here. And we're just continuing the tradition. Why listen to me and I'm telling you about the steaks and what to do here? One, just straight up, do you have a joy of cooking and want things to go well with your guests? I love it to be right. Why spend the money and the time and have something that's mediocre? We're after excellent. Why listen to me? Fifth generation meat cutter. Great grandparents from out of Germany. They cut meat back in the day. We got family, sixth generation meat cutter. This is what we do. Yes, we raise the cows. That's the thing. But this comes along as part of it. So whether we're making our own bacon, making our own sausage, cutting our own steaks, butchering our own cows, that's all been part of it. It's been in the family way before I was here. And we're just continuing the tradition. These little guys, all right? Well, you've got this much cartilage right up across here like this, and this small, this is an older calf. Now you think an older calf would be a bigger calf. You see how much cartilage up across here and in the veins in here? It's a smaller steak. You go, oh, well, look at some smaller steaks. This would be a good idea. But when they're older and they're still small, that doesn't work. Got the cartilage right up across here, across there like that. Heavy cartilage, small steaks, older calf. But this is New York strip, so sometimes that runs a little heavier anyway. Bigger steak. Look at the size difference. You get 50% more steak in height, but look at that, it's going away. This is a younger calf. This can be more tender. Prime rib roast. Okay. Well, this should show you for sure. See that cap on there? There's hardly any fat on that. Okay. And you're like, oh, I heard fat was good. Fat's good in here. And the marbling. Well, this calf. Now this old boy, he grew up. This is what you want. Good sized calf, round. There's not a lot of bark on there. You can push on there. You see that difference right there? That's hard. This guy is a lot smaller. They have had to trim him down because he's older. And look at the size difference. Big steak, little steak. The older calf, trimming the fat off. More cartilage, more issues. See it up in here, the cartilage up in there next to the cap. This up here, this right here is the cap. Right here, or the deckle. That cartilage is right here, okay? This one, he doesn't even have any. There's none even there. This deckle, this cap, is one of the most desirable pieces of meat that you can get. It carries that marbling. It's tender. It is just pretty fantastic. Flavor along with the meat. This part of the steak, that is, put a little pepper on the top of there, a little salt, cook it. That's it. There's the one with the deckle. It's this whole piece is capped. The ribeye is clear down here. Right here, this is all deckle right up here. This whole front piece. That is exactly what we're looking for. And we don't have a lot of cap, just a little piece on the corner. They're both really good. See, what happens is if you came shopping with me, I could take one and you take one, and we're all good. But just for cutting preference, we're gonna get this right here.
So we're gonna chop up some steak.
As far as picking up the prime rib like we did, in doing so, it's just a portion of that ribeye loin. Therefore, we're able to get the price down. They, instead of selling it for $19 and something, they took $6.89 off to sell it to you as a prime rib rather than in steaks. We're spending $94, but we saved $79. Now that's huge. We just take this stuff out of the package. You got the stuff on the bottom there. Something interesting to note. This prime rib, it has the bones on there, so we'll have to trim those off. Now, they went and tied it like it's gonna be prime rib. They got 3 strings on it. Okay, pop, there we go. Somebody has already trimmed the ribs. You want some beef ribs? They're done. Now, whether you want to trim those up or cook them as is, I mean, those would be beef ribs right there on the grill. Salt and pepper, smoke them, grill them over time. Those are gonna take some time to get done. But in doing so, just like you do ribs or anything, and then you barbecue them and away you go. Now, as we were saying earlier, taking a look, you got the deckle here, that piece across there, and we're on the end that is the last ribeye. See how big the deckle is across here, around this whole part. That is super fantastic. Now, as we cut these, you're gonna maybe get some pretty large steaks as far as being 1 inch to 1 1/4 inches, even 1.5 inches. I would like to even suggest we're gonna do a couple at 2 inches. And the reason for that is we'll show you a way to cook them then later. So, sit across here, simple, straightforward. We got about 1 inch, 1.25 inches there. Draw that across, use your whole knife, and just draw it straight. She's cutting decent. Sometimes with the edge of your knife, instead of sharpening it, you use it just a little bit, and the edge of the knife starts to bend over like this. You can feel it on a steel. You don't know which side it is, so you push it across here. Okay, I was taught to do it this way, but I'm kind of left-handed, right-handed, so I do it this way. There, that's the side that needs sharpened. But you pull her back, straighten that blade, and all you're doing is over time putting it on that steel and standing that back up. That's all that we're doing here. So it's not like putting it on a stone and sharpening it, but that's what the steel does. All right, let's see what that does. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. You just can't even believe the difference. Now, you look at that and you're like, how in the world am I gonna eat a steak of that size? Number one, cook it like it is and serve 2. That's just fine. Now I tend to cut this tail down, trim each piece individually rather than the whole thing, and go ahead and leave a little bit of fat there just to work with. And also this piece right here, you can leave that right on there. But I find that when you go to eat a steak, if you don't have so much to cut around, this piece will be here. And it'll melt down some, but that piece will be there and you have to cut around that. But this one right here, you get to as you're cutting your steak, I feel it gets in the way. So I just very carefully come down and trim that little piece right off the end. Now anything that you have, are you going to lose a little bit of meat? A teeny tiny bit. But mostly this piece is something that you're not going to completely eat. Now that'll melt right into what you're doing, and that whole steak can be eaten just as it is. Nothing left on the plate when you're done. And I like doing it that way. Well, let's move on to the next piece here. Same thing. We're going to go about 1.25 inches across. If we cut it straight with this piece, then notice how the angle is over here. We're going to get across there. We're going to have some kind of an odd deal. So just take a little bit of that out right now. Turn it just ever so slightly, and every steak you move over, you turn it ever so slightly. By the time we get here, we'll have almost a straight steak, and it ends up making one more instead of one odd one. You got one full one to serve to somebody. Let's go ahead and cut this next one. Isn't that a beautiful steak? And what we're looking at, that's serving size for 2. But able to cook it how we want it on the grill and get it just how you want in the middle. What temperature are we looking for? This steak goes to 135. How do we know that? Because that's the right temperature. And if that doesn't exactly work for you, you're like, ooh, that's pretty red. I would suggest turn the lights down. You just can't handle that and you're just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Change it a little. Go to 140. Don't go off the charts. That is 2 cowboys or 4 normal people. And I'm going to do a 2-inch steak. Like I said, we're going to come off of there. They're straight. There's where they're. We're going to split the difference so that it cooks up and works together. So we've got 2 2-inchers. Now you're looking at something that you're like, holy cow, what are you going to do with them? Look at those beauties. Oh my goodness. The deckle that comes around there like that. This is the end. This is my favorite steak right there. Well, when you have this deckle all the way around like this, that piece of meat is so fantastic. It's the most flavorful piece that I've found on the entire beef animal. It's just super good. And even back here, normally the other ones I was trimming off, you got a little piece of meat there, that tail meat. So I just leave this whole thing alone. Leave it right there. Now I'll still go down to the center, take that little piece right off of there, just to make it easier to eat. But we'll do that one too. Just right off of there. Take that little piece right off of there. And when you slice that knife, draw your knife. Use the whole edge of your blade. Draw it. And it cuts down easy. Now these 2 steaks right here, you go, now what are we feeding? 4 people? 5 people? These are party steaks. What you do with these, we do this reverse sear. You put it in the oven at 250 degrees. Now you bring it on up to about 10 to 15 degrees of being done. So around 120, even 115. 125 is getting a little high. But the idea is bring them up to that at 250 degrees. So you end up having a steak that is cooked kind of like a roast. you're doing that first. And those will be sitting on a pan, just like this, putting it right in the oven. And when it comes up to temperature, you just check it. Then you bring them out and you put them in the frying pan and you sear them. That's the reverse sear, because everybody sears them first and then cooks them. We're doing the sear last. You serve it to everybody. You take one and you go out and you just slice it and serve it. And so this steak, you're serving 6 people at a time. The hands coming after the meat, the idea of being there, the smiles on the faces, and the taste that they have never had before. Cooked in a way that makes a steak nearly perfect every time. Super good. That's what we're gonna do with those. So what are we talking about here? With these 2 steaks, we're probably looking at serving 8 people, doing it kind of in an hors d'oeuvre style, but it's the main course. And then we got steaks down here that are thinner, and we can easily serve 4 people with them. You're still doing 10 meals worth out of this one loin. That's what, at 90 bucks? 90 bucks a piece. For a steak dinner that is out of this world, how do you beat that? That reverse sear method in doing this, you're not gonna duplicate that anywhere for 50 bucks a plate. You're just not, even 100. You're doing it at home, your place is gonna be the best place to eat in town. Okay, now these that we're gonna cook, fine. But let's say you cut up the loin and you're like, we're not serving all these today. Well, that's all right. Grab a couple of these out. Just regular Ziploc freezer bag. That's all that we're talking about. All right. And we don't have to vacuum pack them, which is nice. Then they store in the freezer, keep up for over 6 months. But we do this like this. Set it in there, set it right to the bottom, all the way in. Now I reverse direction on these, put larger on one side, and I do the fat to the fat, or the meat to the meat, either way. And then I just switch it around here and put it kind of squares it up. Pull that together, and of course you knock the air out of it. That can go in the freezer like that, or in the fridge for even a couple of days before you use them. If you're going to keep them for a period of time, a month or less, even 2 weeks is fine. If you're going to keep them longer than that, you need to put them in and vacuum seal them. Get a bag for them. The little machine pulls the air out. We do that too. When you're doing a lot of these and throwing them in the freezer, then they'll keep 6 months easy. They stack nice in the freezer. Now, the other thing is when you're stacking them, set them in 1 layer deep. This is enough. Put them in there and then let them freeze. If you stack this up 3 or 4 deep, then those in the middle are going to take too long to freeze. So do it just this layer, set them out and let them freeze. Overnight, they're ready to go. Stack them up however you want right after that. But give them a chance to get frozen. Then they'll keep 6 months, no problem. And tight cinches. Hey, if any of this has helped, I mean, you're buying a ribeye at the store for almost $7 off a pound because it was a prime rib. I get it. You're going to have a meal of ribs. That's the breaks. Why spend 20 bucks a pound when you can do it for 12? If you liked any of this, like and subscribe. We'll get you some more to help you out in the kitchen.